How long are pregnancies supposed to last? I was drafting a breakup message when Abby, my girlfriend, texted me first. I'm pregnant. How can two words so dramatically change the trajectory of your life? Well, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm going to do the right thing. I will ignore the aching feeling that I just don't like Abby, that I don't like being around her, that I find her boring, immature. None of that matters anymore. I have to be there for my son, and I just know it's going to be a boy. We got married at the county register of deeds. No roofie-toofie wedding we couldn't afford despite Abby deeply wanting one. It felt businesslike, as it should. Those first 8 months were brutal. I found her mewling demands infuriating. Foot massages. Oh, quick run to the store to get me those pickles I like. Why are you acting so distant? I wanted to put my head through a wall. But I didn't. I had to be strong. For my son. I had the due date marked on the calendar. I had counted down the fucking hours till I would see my son. Knew my life would change infinitely the instant I saw him. 9 months came and went. She didn't give birth. Abby had been pregnant for 10 months when I begged her to see a doctor. Nothing's wrong, she insisted. Yes, something very much is wrong. Glenn, trust me, nothing is wrong. He'll come out when he's ready. Trust her? How the hell could I? 11 months of pregnancy. 12 months. I contemplated crude methods of sedating her, knocking her out and getting her to a doctor to receive the C-section she flat out refused to get. She kept saying those words over and over again. He'll come out when he's ready. Every week that passed brewed more fury in me. At 16 months pregnant, I began to believe she was doing this on purpose. This was some otherworldly scheme to spite me. I was losing the ability to keep my calm. Abby, it's time. I don't think so. Yes, it is. It's time. He'll come out when he's— Don't say that. Don't ever say that again. Maybe, she said, you're just not ready to be a father. Maybe that's why I couldn't help but yell. I'm ready to be a father. I would kill for my son. Oh, please, kill for him. Nobody's asking you to kill anything. Would you care for him, love him no matter what? She pauses, and I see insubordination in her eyes. Would you love his mother? You'll never know what it's like to feel so strongly for your child you'd kill for him. That is my burden. Now this has to stop. See a doctor. Give me my son. I'm not asking. Our fights grew more frequent. 2 years of pregnancy. I can't leave. Not while she has my son. I find myself on medical websites, researching emergency home cesareans. My eyes shaping up kitchen knives I don't think will be sharp enough. I can see my son under her skin. He has grown large, strong, and healthy. At least I hope. The shape of his face is almost discernible, and I can see my nose on him. I swear I can see it. 3 years of pregnancy, and I can no longer hold in my rage. I have put so many holes in the drywall. How can she be so stubborn? 4 years have passed. 5 years of pregnancy. Abby insists everything is fine, that our unnamed son will be ready to enter this world when I'm ready to be a loving father. That bitch, she's the size of a whale. She can barely walk. Our son is so big inside her, stretching her skin, swelling her joints. I must admit I have a mental breakdown and I run, flee, escape. No child is worth the torture she has put me through. My son will have to be a broken young man, fatherless, lost and afraid. It has been 7 years since I received that fateful "I'm pregnant" message. I've spent the last 2 years couch surfing, or I'm ashamed to admit, sleeping in my car, odd jobs, miserable nights, drinking everything I can steal, trying to forget. Failing, and perhaps only because it is Christmas, I find myself driving to Abby's house, out of body, as if I can't control what I'm doing. I'm being drawn to her. I park across the street, can see right in through her grand living room window. Under a Christmas tree, Abby sits in her pajamas across from my son. He opens presents and a smile lights up on his face. He hugs her. They laugh like they've known each other their whole lives. I see red, not from any Christmas lights, but from what was stolen from me. I run to her front door, but of course it's locked. So I go to that living room window and start punching. I'm going to take my son back. As the glass breaks, I feel the shards shred through my jacket and wrists. Abby is not frightened at all, like my son is. She grabs him and carries him away into a different room, all in a flash. I have made mincemeat out of the glass and my skin. I have one leg through the window sill when Abby returns with a sleek little handgun. I'm also willing to kill for him. Submitted by /u or forgotten well-linked comments. My fiancé insisted on home birth. When I told Ryan I wanted a hospital birth, he laughed like I had suggested delivering it in a back alley. Babe, no, those places are chaos. Noise, bright lights, people poking at you every 5 minutes. You said yourself you wanted calm. I want safe, I said. He kissed my forehead. Home is safe. That became his thing for the last month of my pregnancy. Home is safe. Home is better. Home is private. Labor started just after midnight. Ryan was almost excited. Not nervous, not panicked. Excited. He ran the bath, lit candles, laid towels everywhere like we were filming one of those smug home birth reels. I was bent over the sofa, trying not to scream when he crouched beside me and whispered, nearly there. Call someone, I gasped. I've got it handled. No, Ryan, an ambulance. He smiled, actually smiled, and brushed sweaty hair off my face. Trust me. The pain got worse, wrong somehow, sharp and tearing. By dawn, I was half delirious, gripping the arm of the sofa hard enough to leave crescents in the fabric. Then I felt the crown. Every birth book says pressure. Burning, stretching. Nobody says crunching. I screamed. Ryan grabbed my hand. It's okay, that's normal. That is not fucking normal. He didn't answer. He just stared between my legs with this awful fixed expression like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. Then the baby slipped free. For 1 second there was silence. No crying. No relieved laugh. No, it's a boy. Just Ryan staring. Why isn't it crying? I whispered. He wrapped it quickly in a towel before I could really see. It's fine. Let me see it. In a second. Ryan, he hesitated too long. I pushed myself up on one elbow and the towel slipped. I saw a tiny wet face, bluish and wrinkled, with a little button nose and sealed eyes, and a mouth full of teeth, not gums, teeth. Tiny, sharp, white ones, packed close together like a little trap. I made a sound I didn't recognize as mine. Ryan held it tighter. Keep your voice down. What the fuck is that? His face changed then, all softness gone. Our son. I tried to crawl backwards, blood slick under me. No, I whispered. He looked almost offended. This is why I said no hospital, they'd notice. Then the baby opened its eyes. Black, glossy, alert. Its mouth twitched, already rooting. Not for milk, for the bowl beside the sofa. Something pale floated in the pink water. At first I thought it was a piece of cord. Then I saw the nail, the knuckle, a fingertip. I looked at Ryan's hand. His index finger ended in a wet bandage. He gave me a tired little smile. I got curious when it started biting during the contractions. Submitted by /u or meat typewriter link comments. Jim isn't dead. Nobody in town could shut up about Jim Carter the day he went missing. This was normal, I suppose. Small towns always treat any strange thing like it is the only thing that's ever happened, and what happened with Jim was weird enough to leave the entire town speechless. 2 fishermen found him at sunrise down by Blackwater Lake, washed up and tangled in the reeds. Pale, bloated, still, covered in mud. They said he looked dead enough to have been floating in the water for days. One of the fishermen threw up when they rolled him over because his eyes were wide open and filled with sand. The sheriff came, then the ambulance, then half the damn town. Nobody around here can mind their business. They already had him zipped up in a body bag when his corpse started twitching. I wasn't there to see it happen, but I heard about it so much I can see it in my mind. The bag jerking on the stretcher, one of the EMTs screaming, Jim gasping and clawing his way out of the bag like a man who woke up from a nightmare. He coughed out what seemed like a gallon of water before finally calming down. Everyone called it a miracle. His wife sure did. She cried so hard in the parking lot of the hospital, she nearly passed out. Their 2 little girls were holding onto her like they thought their mother would disappear too like Jim if they let go. For a short while, everything seemed fine. Jim came home, people dropped off casseroles and baked goods, and the usual small-town garbage people make when they don't know what else to do. The church said he was God's miracle. His wife, Dana, said they were blessed. Jim smiled and thanked people and said he didn't remember anything when he was gone. But nobody could explain where he had gone. He was missing 5 days prior to washing up. His truck was still parked at home, phone on the kitchen counter, no note, no signs of a kidnapping. Then suddenly there he was, dead and cold in the lake until he wasn't. After a few days, things started going a little wrong. Well, a lot wrong really fucking quick. He would stop in the middle of a conversation and just stare. Not at anything, just ahead like somebody pressed pause. Sometimes it was a few seconds, sometimes minutes. His speech started slurring, words came out thick and wet like his mouth went numb. Dana told everyone it was trauma. Everyone wanted an explanation that made sense, so they grabbed the easiest one. Then came the day at the diner. I was there, I know that part for damn sure, it won't ever leave my mind. It was a Thursday night, busy enough that people were waiting for an open seat. I was at the counter while Jim was 3 booths down with his family. He looked almost normal, even smiled when his littlest showed him a drawing. Then he froze. I just thought it was another blank spell. But then we all noticed. The splatter of blood, the screaming of Dana yelling Jim's name, a steak knife through his hand once, then twice, then over and over again. Everyone tried to get him to stop, but were too scared he would take a stab at them. He started choking. He grabbed his throat with both hands, one of them a bloody mess. His mouth opened wide, and for a moment I thought he was trying to vomit. What came up moved. It pushed past his teeth in a wet, twitching, pale knot. It looked like a fat worm with his little legs curling against its sides, like some kind of horrible thing found at the bottom of the lake. For a second, I thought I was seeing things and his tongue was splitting open. Then I realized that thing was his tongue. It wriggled around while Jim clawed at it, trying to remove it. Get IT out. Get IT the fuck out. He snatched the knife with his uninjured hand and quickly dragged it across his throat, slicing it to bits. People were screaming. His littlest fainted. The others stood there crying so hard nothing came out. The fucking thing detached from his mouth and tried to crawl away, and I watched as the sheriff crushed it under his boot. Nobody slept much that night. Nobody was ready for the morning either. We all woke up, but some to empty beds and personal items left untouched. 12 more people had gone missing today, and we all knew where they were going to wash up. Submitted by /U or Dark Legends, Never Die Link comments.